Good afternoon, Pokésports, and welcome to our final tier list of the Grass, Fire, Water core, that being the Grass core. Inside all of them, Scovillain joined us. But today we're going to be ordering all of the Grass Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet in between tiers S and F. Kevin, what do you think about Grass Pokemon?
I mean, Grass Pokemon's always a necessary typing. It's an incredible offensive presence. Typically, Grass types have very good defenses, even though their weaknesses are a little bit rough around the edges. It also makes me happy that Scovillain somehow managed to get on all three lists somehow.
Yep. It's good. But this is the actual definitive one. That one in Fire. Water, it belongs in F. Put that thing straight in the trash. Anyway, let's get going with this tier list. Once again, please do note that we're going to be talking about mostly VGC, but we are going to sprinkle a little bit of singles in there. So use your own discretion when it comes to actually putting these on your team. These are our opinions, and people are going to get mad about it in the comments, but that's just what's going to happen in tier lists. So
these are just pixels, guys. Anyway, where are we putting Abomasnow?
Where are we putting Abomasnow? Honestly, if this was anything below Scarlet and Violet, I would have said straight to F. But
yes,
ever since the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, when snow happened, snow warning actually makes a lot more sense now. And I feel like it's good. Finally.
This is one of the most controversial takes ever. We're gonna start immediately with a hot take, because we're pretty much saying that Abomasnow moved from F tier to S tier because it's the only Pokemon that does what it does.
Yeah, I mean,
snow warning is if you want snow on the field, you have one choice.
Yeah. In all seriousness, I wouldn't put Abomasnow in S. But I do think that Abomasnow is kind of a staple in a lot of these teams. What I see a lot of people doing with Abomasnow is just having it out there as their first Pokemon and then immediately swapping it out. And the only times it ever touches the field is just to set up the snow and then get right out of there.
Yeah.
So I don't think it actually gives too much in terms of offensive presence, but setting up the rest of your team, it's really, really good. So for that reason, I would actually move Abomasnow up to B.
B? Oh, I'm gonna say A.
Really?
Yeah.
Can we compromise on a low A? Can I sell you on a low A?
Yeah, you could put it all the way at the end of A, but I think A. It's really, for me, it's just really hard to argue. The only Pokemon that does a thing is like good by proxy. You can't be bad, right?
No, it's true. All right. Well, how about Amoonguss?
Okay, that one we're putting in S, right?
We can't not put Amoonguss in S.
That's when we get a lot of people yelling.
How dare you not put the top 5 Pokemon in S? Come on.
It's too good. It's always going to be good. Whenever the meta is unclear, the Amoonguss factor is very clear. So,
that's
Spore,
right.
Rage Powder, Pollen Puff. Some would even argue it's better than Brute Bonnet because it has a better typing. I would listen to that argument and kind of agree with it.
I am starting to think that. And honestly, the more I play with Paradox Pokemon, the more that I think that we're not actually going to see them in at least the first series of VGC, if that's the way that Pokemon's going to be handling this. And so, you know what? If you're watching this in the future, see if we were right or not. Is Amoonguss actually seeing play? Is Brute Bonnet seeing play? Is Brute Bonnet even in the meta? Is Brute Bonnet allowed to come in? How about Appleton?
Oof.
Appleton
is an Appleton of disappointment, that's for sure. It's tanky. It does have like a body press iron defense thing that it can do. That signature move, that lower special defense is kind of cool too.
Yeah, that's right. I want to say apple juice, but it's like something
that's
like
what
that.
It is.
Yeah,
it's the apple juice. I think it's a D. It's as D as a Pokemon can get. I think it has a use case, but you wouldn't really want to play it most times, right?
Right, and there is a better grass dragon, I believe, in Flapple. So
yeah, I mean, Flapple isn't awful. It's there.
Yeah. None of them are particularly good. I'll say that. Okay, Arboliva, Arboliva, our Olive.
Mr. Arboliva. All right. What do we see? This isn't bad as a Trick Room on. It's gotten base 39 speed, so it's good in Trick Room. It also gets access to Strength Sap, which is very exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it has that cool ability that if it gets touched with something, it has grassy terrain on the field. It's also one of the few Pokemon that can I want to say auto set grassy terrain because we don't have monkey in this generation yet, but it will be coming with home. So I think maybe a B for that.
I'd agree with that.
I think a B isn't bad. Its stats are really good. It has the Florges problem, and I think Florges is kind of another B tier Pokemon if we ever get to a fairy type tier list. It has that same problem of having very good stats, very bad move pool.
Yes.
So that's kind of what holds it away from the A tier.
Now, I guess I'll build off of that and just say that the normal typing on Arbolive is actually kind of decent. The fact that its only added weakness is just fighting, and it also gains a ghost immunity, that it makes it a pretty decent switch-in Pokemon.
Fluttermane can't touch this. That's good.
Right. When
Fluttermane can't touch it, it's really good.
That's pretty nice. Great screen setter, great helping hander. It gets pollen puffs, so that's something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm down to put this in B.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Just a nice solid B. Middle of the line Pokemon.
Now, Bramblegast.
I don't hate this thing. I also don't love it. It's not very tanky. It has base 55 HP and 70 in both defenses. It's not very fast. It's only base 90. But the thing that it does that's really cool is every time a Tailwind is set, it gets a +1 in attack. So the base 115, Wind Rider. The base 115 goes up to like a base like 160, 170 or whatever it is. That's a lot of, attack stat. That's a big attack stat. So, and if you're in Tailwind and you're base 90, then you are now faster than most of the fast Pokemon. So there's a use case. I think it definitely needs a sash to be relevant. Fun fact, it also does have Sap Sipper, so that's another added bonus. Somewhere between a high C and a low B is probably where I'm sticking that thing.
High C and a low B.
I've gotten wrecked by Kilowattrel and Bramblegast cores before. It's not fun. Yeah, but that's just me, playing Dundozo and being sad when there's a physical grass type on the field.
That's fair. So yeah, let's do that. Let's put it in high C, I think. If I do put it in B later, I think it would be underneath the Arboliva.
Yeah.
So let's go back maybe. Breloom. The Pokemon that I was the most excited for in Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, Breloom's pretty good, to be honest.
Really good. I was about to actually go the other way.
No, it's 6% usage, 6.6% usage in OU.
Yes.
Yeah, in OU. Yeah, so it's not that great in VGC. Because in VGC, you could do something called hit the same target twice. But in OU, I guess it's still doing its old school OU things, just putting things to sleep, going for Bullet Seed. I'm sure that there's a set with loaded dice somewhere because that's what they really try to push down our throats. I would say it's better than Abomasnow, maybe. I could think of more times to use a Breloom than an Abomasnow.
Yeah, it was interesting that in this generation, Breloom, it got close combat. And you would expect that, you would put close combat on your Breloom a lot. People were wanting that a long time ago. But now that you have terrestrialization, a lot of people are opting to go Terra Grass. And that makes Bullet Seed really, really good. That makes Loaded Dice really, really good. That makes Technician really, really good. And so close combat, you don't actually see it too often. The same set is still on Breloom with Mach Punch, Bullet Seed, Spore, Sword Stance. So I would also put this above Abomasnow right now.
Yeah, this Pokemon just seems too good for its own good. I mean, at least compared to all of the other grass Pokemon on the list, it's definitely one of the top 10.
Right. All right, let's move on to Brute Bonnet.
Don't get me wrong. Brute Bonnet is good. It's not Amoonguss. But
it isn't, is it?
It's not Amoonguss in the sense that it gets Amoonguss's moves, and Amoonguss has really good moves, but it doesn't have the defenses or the typings to deal with it. It's an Amoonguss if you want a sweeper for Trick Room. It's like a very weird, because like you want to play it like an Amoonguss. Maybe it's just me that hasn't figured it out. I don't think it's bad by any means. I think I would still put it in maybe S or A, but definitely no matter where I'm putting it, Amoonguss is better. It has to be below Amoonguss.
Yeah, it is kind of a tough decision, but it's a tough decision because it is super, super good, but the thing that we're comparing it to is probably one of the best grass Pokemon in the active game. So if we were comparing Brute Bonnet to anything else, I think we would be good. Yeah, I think we would have it way up there. I do think the typing doesn't do it any favors. Grass and Dark, just not a great together combination.
Yeah. I think it's still S, maybe bottom of S, but still
I would
S.
Agree.
Yeah, because the thing is, another thing with Paradox Pokemon that we haven't mentioned yet is that on paper it says that they're base 570 base stats. They're not really.
That's right.
Because you give them booster energy, they just get 30% boost somewhere else. So, yeah, that 110 attack becomes a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on to Cacturn. Speaking of dark and grass Pokemon that are not,
there's a lot of them. Yeah,
not very good. I think that honestly F. I just insta F.
No, I don't think it's better than Appleton in any sense.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed by it.
Just gonna toss it in there. Yeah, the grass and dark Pokemon, we get a lot of those this generation. Meowscarada, this one,
this one, he didn't remember the name. Everybody,
Cacturn. We immediately said no. I was talking about Cacturn. I forgot that we immediately talked about. Yeah, Wo-Chien. So we got a lot of them. Didn't get Shiftry this generation. Didn't make the cut.
Didn't matter.
It's just not a very good typing.
No, it has the most weaknesses in the game, I believe, even more than Tyranitar.
Yikes. All right. Next up is Calyrex. We'll be getting that one a little bit later.
Let's be honest. You guys aren't using Calyrex for the grass type, are you?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You want to make an argument that it has pretty decent stats? I'll put it next to the apple in D tier. Don't use Calyrex. Use its other forms. Merge it with a horse.
Yeah, I agree. I will put it above just because it's a legendary and it kind of needs to be.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, you could be better than an apple pie.
Okay.
But not a tumbleweed.
Chestnut, another grass and fighting. And I believe Hisuian, what's his name, is going to go in there as well. Decidueye.
Oh, I thought you were saying Hisuian Chestnut. I was like, what are you talking about, Mike?
I would have loved that.
Are we playing the same game? Yeah, Chestnut got a lot of cool moves this generation. I believe it got close combat and was it not play rough or something? I don't know. It got
like that, We'll know once Home comes out as well, but
yeah, it got close combat. Well, that's the big one.
I don't know that Chestnut's not having attack moves was its problem back in the day.
I think its stats are its problem.
I think that its stats are its problem. It does
typing
have
doesn't help it either.
Press.
Oh, it got body press? That's nice.
So that is something. Yeah.
I don't think it's anywhere close to Breloom. I don't know if it's better than Arbelova.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that it's maybe below a Bramblegast, though. I think Bramblegast at least has the added benefit of doing damage. Like I said, we won't know for sure until we get it in the game because we haven't seen this Pokemon with those moves in this setting be used yet.
Right.
So we can only go based off what we know already, and what we know already ain't that good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I'll go with you. I'm going to put it underneath Bramblegast, but let it be known that I want Chestnut above.
Yeah.
And I hope that once Chestnut is a thing, that people are able to make it work, either with really good Terras or with moves that it gets now that it didn't get before. I hope that they can push that up.
Yeah, I agree. I like that thing.
Hisuian Decidueye.
I do think that is going to be relatively decent.
Really?
I don't think that it's going to be Breloom level. I do think it's going to be maybe worse than Arbelova, but better than Bramblegast. Kind of living in that space right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does get a lot better stats than original Decidueye does. And it's getting scrappy this generation now too, with how many ghost types we have running around at the current meta. Like maybe this is the one thing that we need, a way to just stop those ghost types. Maybe B. Like I said, it's a practice thing. We need to see it in this setting to see where it lies.
I agree.
We won't get that until home.
I agree. I'm going to put that over in low B. I think that once it comes out, it's going to have a lot more immediate use than Chestnut. But we'll see how the grass and fighting type actually fares in that meta, especially with all the rest of the Pokemon that are coming out. As far as grass types go for this grass tier list, I think that it functions well as a grass type that can actually deal some decent physical damage. Unlike Decidueye, non-Hisuian.
Yeah, that might be next to maybe C tier.
Yeah,
maybe D tier. It's living in that weird space. It's not a great Pokemon. Typically Pokemon that have mixed attack and special attack and not enough speed just don't go over well in the Pokemon world.
Right.
So I think that's where Decidueye lies. Probably around C tier.
Do we think above or below Chestnut?
Probably below.
Below. Okay.
Yeah.
Hisuian Electrode.
It's fast.
that is about all that it has going for it, I think. Yeah.
It's fast. That's it.
That's
all
about
it has.
I'm trying to look for its stats right now. Yeah, that thing's got. Oh,
it's
what
real
is that?
Fast.
It's
yeah.
really fast. It's
What are you looking
100.
at?
No, I'm trying to find its stats.
Oh, it's stats. Okay, we got base 60 HP, 50 attack, 70 in defense, 80 in special defense, 80 in special attack. So not doing any damage at all. 150 in speed. So
I don't think that's good.
no, it doesn't do damage. The only thing it can do is set up screens and explode. That fine. If that's your sole purpose in life, be my guest.
But how does Regieleki do it? And Hisuian Electrode can.
Has Transistor to help.
Yeah,
That's the
true.
thing. It's Transistor. Right now, Electrode only has soundproof, static, or aftermath.
Where are you saying to put this?
Oh, probably D. I don't know. Hot garbage.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Flapple.
Probably next to Appleton, to be honest.
I started this off by saying that I think that Flapple is better than Appleton. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe not actually.
Maybe it used to be because we used to be able to do Hustle with Dynamax, and now we can't do that anymore. So
That's
Hustle moves just miss. So they're about the same.
Yeah, we're going to put that right there. How about Go-Goat?
Go-Goat's underwhelming. Go-Go, it makes me sad all the time because I originally remember Generation 6 and how like Go-Go was one of the first Pokemon they showed off. It was like, you get to ride a goat. And we're like, oh my God, we can ride the Mons. But then we got Go-Go and we're just like, what the go garbage is this? You know, it's like, here we have Sap Sipper and Grass Pelt are its two abilities. Sap Sipper is a lot better than Grass Pelt, but the problem is you're not weak to grass anyway, so it doesn't actually help you at all. Does have really high HP stat in 1, 2, 3 in HP. Does hit hard in attack, but everything else is really bad. Also has that similar problem of only having grass type moves and nothing else.
Right. Which I mean is kind of okay because it's a mono grass type. But I feel like grass is one of those types where being monograss doesn't actually help you all that much, save if you're maybe, I don't know, Rillaboom or even Meowscarada if you Protean into that. But the rest, I don't know, it doesn't really do too many favors. You're still super weak to flying and ice and, fire. Those three types are very prominent and very strong. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't think the Go-Goat has a place just kind of in the world of Pokemon. I'm going to put in an F.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Probably better than Cacturn, but that's about it. Yeah, Cacturn's just like a hard F. Go-Goat's like a, I could put in an F or D.
So here's the thing about Jumpluff. Jumpluff gets Tailwind.
Got Tailwind now.
It's
very
super fast
too.
and has Tailwind. I think that people are sleeping on Jumpluff a little bit.
Oh, I agree. And we're going to get, this is where, okay, you guys could hate on us for this because we're making a hot take right now. Jumpluff legitimately isn't an awful Pokemon.
Right.
In a world where we don't have Whimsicott, Jumpluff is a base 110 Pokemon that has great supportive moves, has Chlorophyll for the speed, so you don't even need the Prankster. Gets Tailwind this generation for the first time, as Mike mentioned. Also gets Sleep Powder. I mean, you can make some things happen here.
Immediately,
gets Switcheroo.
Yeah.
Gets Worry Seed. Gets Strength Sap this generation.
While I was on stream one day, somebody mentioned to me that Grafii is a great Sunny Day user. And I immediately in my mind went to Jump Bluff, and I was thinking there's some kind of shenanigans here that you can do with a Prankster Sunny Day into a Chlorophyll Tailwind. And that's just like the perfect initial setup that's just going to outspeed all of the game that isn't using Prankster itself. And you'll just be set for the next little bit without having to bring a Torkoal. A lot of these things are like, how can I supplement my team with a fire type without bringing a Torkoal into it?
Yeah, because that's the thing with the game, right? We're only given a handful of Weathermons this generation, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
We're only given one Snow Sitter. We're given one Drought Setter. We're given one Drizzle Setter. And then we're given 2 Sand Setters. Because I think there is a Hippowdon in the game. I remember seeing one when I was hunting for Stardust.
You're right.
I don't know. Jump Bluff, I think, it's underdeveloped, but it's not bad. I think probably B.
I agree. I think
just
right in the middle there.
I think that it is good. We just don't know how good it is yet. It's definitely gonna see some kind of competitive aspect. Someone's gonna try it. Someone's gonna win something with it. Someone's gonna be impressed by it. People are gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, how did no one see this coming?"
Right.
And then we're gonna be like, "Pokésports, baby."
That's why we do these tier lists, so that we can come back later and be like, "We told you." All right.
And then we can't find where we said it, and then we just never.
Yeah, exactly. And then whatever we said it, I think. Speaking of chlorophyll users, we've got Leafeon.
I mean, what can I say about Leafeon? It's not like garbage. It's also not broken.
I think a lot of people rely a lot on using chlorophyll into Solar Blade, which really cool. Like that's a cool setup, especially if you have another Pokemon who set up Sunny Day around you. In VGC, I don't really see it used too often, and I don't think that it's very good in the format, but in singles, you can certainly toss that in. You can do some fun shenanigans with that. It has surprisingly high defense. I will say that.
My issue is it has that defense with that HP stat. That's my issue. It's like, congratulations, you can jump rope, but you only have half a rope.
Right. Where would you put it then?
Lower than Bramblegast. Probably above Chestnut. Or in that space, in that realm.
I think that Chestnut is going to have a lot more use on release. I think the fact that we're not seeing Leafeon right now kind of says that we're not going to. Yeah. So I'm going to put it underneath. I think underneath Chestnut, above Decidueye. Just because I think Decidueye is in that same kind of boat, but Leafeon you can at least kind of make the case to go and bring.
And remember, guys, this isn't a tier list about what your favorite design is. I get Leafeon looks really pretty, but
Leafeon's great.
I love it the way it looks too. I love the way it evolves with that nice rock in the middle of the forest. But these stats are these stats.
That's it. What's Dolliv doing here?
That's Hisuian Lilligant. Tom.
That's Hisuian Lilligant.
What's Dolliv doing here?
I need to look up Dolliv. Hold on. Oh, wow.
They're not. Okay, hold on. I'm in the way. They're not far off, though.
No, not at all.
You're kind of close, to be honest. They're the same Pokemon.
Wow. Fascinating. All right, so Hisuian Lilligant gets Leaf Guard.
It also gets Chlorophyll, which I think is the good one.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's the one we should mention.
I guess so, yeah.
It gets Chlorophyll, gets Hustle.
Oh no, hold on. I'm thinking of Lilligant. Just Lilligant gets Leaf Guard as its hidden ability. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. Hisuian Lilligant.
The physical one.
The physical one. What do you think?
I'm gonna make you happy. It gets Healing Wish, I guess. It's not great. It's a good. The problem I have with this, it's grass fighting, so it has the same issue that Breloom has, the same issue that Chestnut has, the same issue that Hisuian Decidueye has.
Okay.
The typing is bad against flying.
Sure.
And it's bad against a lot, but flying specifically. Has base 105 in attack, no defenses at all, base 105 in speed. Yes, you get Chlorophyll boosted, but base 105 attack is not strong enough to do much with it, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, I'd say, why would you use this when you have Meowscarada? They kind of do the similar thing of, I'm going to need a sash on this, but it's going to do damage.
Right. Now, I will say we do have a lot of grass fighting Pokemon already. We've got Breloom, we've got Hisui and Decidueye, we've got Chestnut. I don't think that Dolive over here is actually going to be better than any of those, apart from the fact that we have Chlorophyll. And I think for that reason, it kind of pushes it ahead of Pokemon like Chestnut.
Yeah. It does get after you, but I mean, like, so does the regular one. Like that.
So why use that when you can use the other one? Yeah.
The only thing you can probably say is that this one is faster by 15 base speed. That's the only difference. But like, once you already go up to base 180 plus, does an extra 15 matter? You know?
Right. With Chlorophyll, speed isn't really a thing. If you have the sun up, you're probably going first.
Yeah, exactly.
So where are we putting this one? Somewhere in C.
Somewhere in C. I think it's better than Leafeon at least. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
At least it gets close combat. Leafeon doesn't get that.
Now I have a feeling that Lilligant's going to go a little higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we putting
I have a feeling it's going to be S or A. It's very good. Right now specifically, because we don't have Venusaur.
I think it's got to go above Breloom. I don't know if it's quite S tier, because this thing does get one shot quite a bit, and if you do run a Focus Sash on it, then you know your sleep powders have a chance to miss. So,
all right, I'm cool with putting it top of A.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know what Lilligant does, it's Torkoal's best friend. After you Lilligant onto Torkoal, you get to erupt first, and on top of that, you have Sleep Powder, you have Leaf Storm, which does an incredible amount of damage, a surprisingly incredible amount of damage. This thing has some special attack. Yeah, I don't know, it's an all-around really strong Pokemon. You do need the Chlorophyll to be good. If you are outside of Sun, you are dead.
Yeah, right. This guy.
Lurantis got a hard nerf this generation.
Thank you.
Got a hard nerf. It used to be good in Trick Room. It used to get Contrary Superpower. It used to get the +1 in attack and defense, and used to constantly be able to stack those. It doesn't get Superpower anymore. It does still get Contrary, but they got rid of Superpower.
So what's the move that goes into Contrary now? Because Superpower was like built for Contrary Pokemon.
Kind of, honestly. It beats me. I think they just try to nerf this thing to the ground, and I don't know why.
Wow.
I don't know what else this can do other than that.
Not too much. I'm actually looking through its moveset right now. I'm not seeing anything too important here. People in the comments are going to call us out if we're wrong, but that's fine.
There's no way we're wrong about this. I guess it gets Leaf Storm. You can do Contrary Leaf Storm, but guess what? You're not a special attacker.
Right.
You're a physical attacker, so it's...
Yeah, but only by 25 points.
Yeah, I guess, but...
Maybe you kind of have to, now that you don't have Superpower?
So then that just means that this Pokemon has 105 attack points that are not being used. Its highest stat is not being used.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of waste your first turn with using that Leaf Storm, but after that, you're great. Yeah, this is going somewhere in D now.
Yeah, I think so. A Pokemon that I would have put in B is now going in D for one move.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that. A Pokemon that would have been going in one tier, but going in another because of the removal of one move. I think y'all know what I'm talking about. First, let's get to Meowscarada, though.
Oh, this thing's an S,
I love it. I love it so much.
It's really good. It's really good. Flower Trick, amazing. You guys want to stop? You guys want to stop Dondozo from Dondozing? All you got to do is hit it with a crit grass move. Yeah. It's over.
Meowscarada is one of my favorite Pokemon in this generation because it does so much math, right? Meowscarada be mathin'. You have a 70 power move that always crits. So crits, by the way, 1.5 times, not 2 times. I've been saying 2 times. That's a my bad on my part.
That's a Gen 1 brain.
That's a Gen 1 brain. Yeah, that changed in Gen 5. Oops, been doing it for more than half my life. So instead of 70, that's actually what, 105. And then you're using that as stab bonus, which gives 1.5 if you're not Terrid, 2 times if you're Terrid. So at most you're doing 210 base damage to a Pokemon. It's like with a 100% accurate move. It's amazing.
That can never miss. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a pretty good move. It's a really strong move. It's a really strong Pokemon. It's one of the few dark grass types that did it right.
Yeah,
you know,
because it got rid of that dual typing.
Because as soon as it can, it gets rid of it. Yeah, the second that you hit Flower Trick, you now just got rid of your dark type.
Yeah, and it's super fast. A lot of the things that check it aren't necessarily as fast or not without like some help, some tailwind help.
Mm-hmm. It's S. It's S all around.
S, for sure. All right, Rillaboom. Rillaboom's going to come in with home. And for those of you who don't know yet, Rillaboom lost one of the moves that it needed to use to be relevant. Grassy Glide doesn't get that anymore.
Not only that, it also lost high horsepower as its coverage. So it now, if it wants to go for a ground type move, it has to use Earthquake, which is counter synergy with the grassy terrain because it reduces the damage of the Earthquake. Yeah, it did my boy dirty. This Pokemon would have been top of S, top of Among Us. This would have been top of the top. Literally 2 weeks ago.
They truly nerfed it into the ground.
I don't think it's
into the ground.
I don't want to put it in D though. No,
I won't. No.
I won't say it's worse than Leafeon, please.
No, for sure.
I will say probably bottom of B, around there. It like just because that's kind of the grassy terrain center tier, I guess, because we have Arboliva in there.
See, there are people with like 3 years of Sword and Shield experience who are going to look at this with Rillaboom above a Jumpluff and be like, you guys have lost your minds.
No, like this is awful. Think of series 1 to 4. How often did you see a Rillaboom? Never.
Yeah, right. And then it got grassy terrain and it got grassy glide. And suddenly, boom.
30% usage? Wow. And then Kyogre entered the meta. Hey, listen, honestly, if Kyogre enters the meta, maybe you're going to get something with a Rillaboom. But my argument is, why not just use the Meowscarada that outspeeds and has the crit grass move?
Right. If Terrain Wars also becomes more of a thing, like the Iron Pokemon start being, more used with electric terrain and Quark Drive, then maybe we'll start to see some of the grassy terrain setters come out. Like Arboliva can get a little bit higher in there. Rillaboom, it still has the grassy terrain, so you flip it out. Grassy Surge, it'll still put the Surge on the field. So.
It is also worth mentioning that it does get Fake Out and it does still get Wood Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to do damage. Not like you're not going to do damage, but you're not going to get priority anymore. You're not going to get ground coverage anymore. And you're also not getting a superpower anymore. So you're not getting fighting coverage either. So you have to rely on Drain Punch, which is like, it goes from base 120 damage to 75. Mm-hmm. That's almost half.
It gets a little bit, we need to spend a little bit more time on this, is that it does.
We have to defend ourselves for this. We understand.
It does get terrestrialization. So you
sure.
can use other types on this thing because it does get pretty decent type coverage. But I think that Dynamax did a lot of favors for Rillaboom. And just the fact that you could, if you really wanted to, use Dynamax on Rillaboom and often did. Now I don't think you will be doing that nearly as much.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, maybe I changed my mind. I'll put it above Hisui and Decidueye.
Yeah.
But we're keeping it below Jumpluff just to make you guys a little upset.
Let us know in the comments how much you hate that Jumpluff is above Rillaboom. My heart can't take it. How about Rotom-Mow?
A solid A Pokemon.
We're putting this right above Rillaboom. Everything that I put above Rillaboom from now on, I'm going to be like, oh no.
It feels wrong, but it's right. Yeah, it feels wrong.
It does
I will agree with you.
wrong.
It does feel wrong. Yeah, it's better than a Abomasnow.
I think it's
probably
better than Breloom.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to see it more.
Water
I have been seeing it more.
Yeah, the grass water. The only reason you're not seeing right now is everyone's playing with their Among Us and their Meowscarada. But the second that people figure a way to deal with those, it'll trickle down to the lower A tiers. I don't think any Rotom is bad that isn't Frost, and Flying. The other three
Right.
are actually pretty competent, and you can see and use them very well. I think the added addition of terrestrializing with Rotom into an electric type, just an electric type, so that you don't get any of the grass weaknesses is really good. Like, this is something that not a lot of people are trying.
Right.
Like, the biggest problem with grass Rotom Mow was that out of the three that are usable, it had the most weaknesses. You think of Rotom Heat only has water and rock. 'Cause it has Levitate. Rotom Wash only has grass. Rotom Mow has a lot more, you know?
That's true.
So now you could just terrestrialize into electric, get 2 times on your electric, keep the Levitate, have no weaknesses, and still get a grass stab? That's pretty free. Like, that's
pretty free.
You don't lose in that deal, you know? Everything just works.
Wow. I mean, that is true too, is like Rotom as a base Pokemon would actually be really good if it didn't have that ghost type. And, you know, its typing's really good. It doesn't get very much coverage. And so that's what the Rotom appliances are there for. So Rotom being on this grass type tier list, we're basically saying terrestrialize it out of grass into what we want Rotom to be, and then you'll be good.
Mike just called a lawnmower an appliance.
I guess. Okay, fine. Tell me about Sawsbuck, Kevin.
Sawsbuck. You think you spell it with an S, I spell it with an F. Bye.
Bottom of F. Scovillain.
People are gonna get mad because they want this to be amazing. I think it's like,
People have been saying a lot
C.
about Scovillain.
I think it's C though. I don't know. I'm not impressed. Someone's gonna yell at us, but
Okay.
like,
Let's play in the space a little bit.
yeah, we'll take the time to actually look at its stats just for you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, 65 HP defense and special defense.
It's a
Not
mixed
good.
attacker. As it has identical attack and special attack. Historically, not great. But you can choose your set and kind of make it like, I'm thinking like Lucario, where you never really know what you're going to get with it. You never really know what it's going to be. So maybe you're going to EV train your attack and hit them with a Terra Blast and make that first turn completely unknown as to what kind of damage you're doing. And then the next turn hit them with a Fire Blast, and suddenly it's like, oh, wait a second, this thing's special? I thought it was physical. So I don't know.
It does. Okay, I guess we should talk about its exclusive move.
Spicy
extract. Yeah. Partially lowers the opponent's defense and sharply raises their attack. I mean, okay. I mean, that's good to use against the special attacker for sure. You know, Pokemon that just doesn't typically do that. But I mean, anything that harshly lowers something is really good.
So
But anything that takes 2 turns of setup is really bad.
You can also use this on a Pokemon with a spread move, right? You get the sun up, you get this thing out with chlorophyll, because obviously all the grass types get chlorophyll. It's their best friend. You use spicy extract. You use spicy extract on something on your side of the field. You boost its attack, and then you use a spread move. You can even use Earthquake. I don't care. You know, like you're going to damage your Scovillain. You might even knock it out, but who cares? You already have a +2. It's basically a Tatsugiri. It's a Tatsugiri Dondozo kind of combination.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm going to make someone mad. I think it's somewhere in C. I don't know where in C, but somewhere in C.
I'm going to give it to the people, and I'm going to put Scovillain in high C above Bramblegast, because I think that you can probably get some pretty funny combos out of Scovillain.
It's also really cool typing, which is why a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
But, you know, they could have done a little bit better with its stats. They made it a little sad in defenses.
Yeah. Sunflora is spelled with a capital F.
Yeah. I'm surprised you put it above Sawsbuck.
How about Toedscruel?
This guy's a very, very sad day. Toedscruel had the, and I thought for a while that it had the option of being one of the best Spore users in the game, simply because it gets base 100 speed and, Spore. But then I realized it only has one ability, and that one ability makes all status moves go last. So they gave Spore with a negative priority. So the one thing that it could have done good, it no longer does. The one thing. It's also grass and ground, so like, thanks ice types.
They could have done so much with Toedscruel. They could have changed Spore. They could have said that like Spore now has just a -1 priority. That's all they needed to do, was say that Spore, it always hits, but it always goes last. And then you change Mycelium Might to something that is not Mycelium Might current.
Give it literally anything. Why is that the only? It doesn't get any hidden abilities. They don't exist. This is like its thing. Status moves go last, and I don't know. Its stats are really good. Very high special defense, very high speed. You can go physical or special. You kind of have that option.
It still has Spore, so there's
so
that.
I think
right?
it's still at least. Saying B is even hard for me. But
I can't say B.
I can't say B either. I could say better than Leafeon.
Yeah,
probably
I agree with
better.
That.
Yeah.
Might even be better than Chestnut.
Yeah, fine. You can click Spore. It might take you a long time, but you can still click it.
It'll happen.
You are a mushroom.
Tropius.
Probably F. What does that do? I don't even know. Beats me. I haven't seen a Tropius in a competitive game in 16.
See, this is the thing. It's with Pokemon like this, when we don't know what it is they do, people get in the comments, they're like, oh, these guys don't know what they're talking about. It's like, who knows what Tropius does?
I will say, okay, now that I'm looking through it, I will tell you what it does. It gets solar power, apparently. It gets solar power, but its attack and special attack are god awful. It gets chlorophyll, but its speed is god awful, and it gets harvest. Harvest is a really good ability. But its typing is god awful. So I don't know how you can make this work.
Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. I'm putting it in F.
Wide guard, I guess. Okay, fine. I'll put it next to Go-Go. It's probably better than a Cacturn.
Yeah.
Not better than a Go-Go though. I can't even say it's better than Go-Go. Because at least Go-Go has stats.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Where Tropius doesn't have stats, it has wide guard, and I think that's something. That's something, but it's not very much. Serena was nerfed. Serena had a big nerf.
What was the move that
doesn't get triple axle anymore?
Oh yeah, that's a big nerf.
Yeah.
It does still get Queenly Majesty, though.
It does still get Queenly Majesty. I don't know. The thing that I always thought about Serena was that Dynamax saved it. Dynamax made it a viable Pokemon. When you take that out of that meta, I don't know if terrestrialization is something that Serena really benefits too much from. I think Serena is just good for kind of being on the field, doing a hit or two, and then either getting knocked out or leaving.
I think Serena, if you would have asked me for a Sword and Shield tier list, I would have put Serena in S.
Sure.
Because of how well it dealt with Rillaboom and how well it paired next to Kyogre. In the current state of the game, Serena's just a Pokemon that can stop fake outs, which, don't get me wrong, is a really good thing. But that's all it does. It stops fake outs and it misses its Power Whip. That's what Serena does good.
The thing about
maybe better than Abomasnow is where I'd say, but I'd put it in A. Because it's not bad. It's just not as good as it was. And for that reason, people are not straying away from it.
I'm going to fight for Serena to go to either low A or high B, because I think that Serena and Queenly Majesty in general is kind of a mid ability. And the reason why is because when you put out a Serena, or when you have a Serena on your team, a seasoned player will know that either if it's out on the field, I shouldn't be using Fake Out, or if it's on the team, maybe I should consider not using Fake Out because they can just swap out one Pokemon and suddenly nothing's happening. I think that Double Protect functions in a same, if not better, way than Queenly Majesty, and if people considered that a little bit more with their leads, then you wouldn't have that problem with Serena that they might be having.
Exactly. I think the only reason why we didn't consider Protect that much is because we had Dynamax that can break through it.
Right.
We don't have that anymore. Protect is so meaningful again. We have a Fake Out is so meaningful again. It kind of puts Serena in this weird place where we don't know if it's doing well. Currently, the usage stats on Pikalytics don't show Serena
At
to
all.
even have a percentage. Yeah, so it's hard for me to put it in A when it doesn't have stats to compensate for it. So I'm probably going to put it in like maybe B. How about we give it above? We'll put this one below, above Jumpluff.
Because that's the thing, right? Like in VGC, you don't have stats on Jumpluff or on Serena because neither of them are really being used. But I feel like at least Jumpluff kind of has a chance to be used here because of its recent buffs, and people just kind of need to understand what's been going on with Jumpluff. Because a lot of the players, they just look at Jumpluff and they're like, oh, okay, that's like one of the first Pokemon that you get in Gen 2, whatever. And they don't know these changes, which, by the way, we have gone over all of the changes. 45 minutes in, I'm going to shill that we talked about all of these changes into Scarlet and Violet on our most recent podcast. Yeah. Finishing it off, we only have 2 more. Let's start with Wo-Chien.
It's the abilities on these legends are kind of ridiculous in a good way. Tablets of Ruin lowers the physical attack of the enemy Pokemon. That can open the door to your team so much. And I think you have a bunch of, depending on the situation, you can bring in the Wo-Chien and really lower the physical attack on the enemy side of the field, which is great, especially on teams that have very low physical defense, or even teams that have very high physical defense. You just kind of accelerate that even further. The other cool thing that this thing gets is that it gets Leech Seed, it's super tanky, gets very high special defense, and you lower their physical defense, so it's like you get tankier by proxy. And it gets Snarl.
So you just get tankier all over the place with this.
Yeah, you don't die. I mean, granted, it's a dark grass type, kind of garbage, but I'm looking at Pikalytics. You want to know what's the highest percentage terrestrialized type on this thing?
What's that?
At 8%, Steel.
Oh.
You just get rid of all your weaknesses. You don't even need Terra Blast. You just get rid of your weaknesses and never die. Set Leech Seeds. Go for Giga Drains. Go for Snarls.
That's all you need. And then just protect every other turn if you really need to.
Yeah, this is an S tier. This is a good slug. Yeah.
I'm going to put this in low S because I think it has a very specific place where it excels really, really well. You have a lot of options to do a lot of good with it, but you do need to kind of play around that a little bit and make sure that you have Pokemon in the back that can support Wo-Chien while it just kind of sits there and is a slug.
You want to know the top 2 Pokemon used with Wo-Chien too?
Tell me.
Grimmsnarl for the screens.
Yeah.
So again, never die. And then Pelipper so that you're not weak to fire. It's so toxic, man.
That's amazing.
I'm so happy I'm not seeing this thing on the ladder more often, because if I was, I'd be very sad.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one is Zarude.
Nah, it's a monkey.
Zarude, it has
bottom of A, I guess.
Really?
I mean, it's better than a Jumpluff, right?
I guess so.
Jungle Healing is okay, I guess. Bottom of A. You're not gonna see it in competitive Pokemon, but it has good stats. Another Dark Monkey. Like,
get at me. People are gonna be like, you put Scovillain in C, but Zarude in A. Excuse me.
Oh, too bad.
You put Rillaboom in B.
Hey, listen, guys.
You put Rillaboom in B.
You could put these Pokemon wherever you want. In fact, I invite you to make your own tier list down below.
For real. But actually, though, do let us know what you thought about this tier list, what you agreed with, what you don't necessarily agree with, and what you hope that certain Pokemon will do. Because honestly, this tier list is a pretty sizable representation of, one, what we're seeing currently on the ladder, and 2, what we kind of are gauging the community to be talking about. Now, inside of your niche, certain Pokemon might be spoken about a lot more highly or a lot more negatively. So you'll have your own flavor and taste for that. But do let us know down in the comments. Make sure you do like the video if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see other tier lists like this, this is the avenue to make yourself heard. So go and get that done. Anyway, folks, we have been Pokésports, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
You know, we got a Starbucks mug in the shot. Can we, Starbucks?
And of
coffee
course,
cup?
me bringing the wrong type to the wrong tier.
I mean, that's just kind of what you do at this point. I think this was that intentional?
No.
No.
That's just what I was wearing.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was I brought the water type. I brought the Kyogre shirt to the... Wait, when did I bring the Kyogre shirt? I don't even remember. I think I brought the Groudon shirt to the water tier list. I brought the Kyogre shirt to the fire tier list. Here I am with Incineroar now on the grass tier list.
Yeah. Water tier list, I was a floating head and arms. Fire tier list, I actually had a shirt. And now grass tier list, I have this. I don't have a very good core going, is what I'm saying.
I just wear one color.
I wear one color on the field.